This bill will kill good blue-collar manufacturing jobs that we need to rebuild the economy in this country. It closes rural hospitals, it defunds healthcare, all to give trillions of dollars in tax cuts to your cronies. Don't tell me you give a the middle class when all you're doing is on the middle class.
I'm angry about what's in the bill. A lot of the folks I talk to across upstate New York are angry about it. And it's not just this bill as a one-off thing. This is the latest in a long history of upstate New Yorkers getting sold out and screwed over by Washington politicians.
Welcome to Elected. I'm your host, Luke Radel. Folks, we've been following the formerly One Big Beautiful Bill, now no longer called that because of actions taken by New York Senator Chuck Schumer.
I raise a point of order against page 1, lines 3 to 5 of the pending amendment, which violates section 313B1A of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974.
The point of order is sustained. The text will be stricken.
Get wrecked by Chuck Schumer.
There you go, another big win for congressional Democratic leadership there. They were finally able to change the stupid name of the bill, but it still passed in the Senate. Is now headed back over to the House, where the Democratic leader there, Hakeem Jeffries, posted this earlier today with a baseball bat. Not sure if he's planning to break some big, beautiful kneecaps over the bill's passage, but not sure if that's the right tone to strike. Obviously, a lot of Democrats have not been satisfied with their current congressional leadership. They've been looking for new voices, new faces, and that comes from some of those newly elected members of Congress, people like Maxwell Frost, Pat Ryan out of the Hudson Valley, and then the newly elected member from one district north of him, freshman Josh Riley of the 19th District, who gave a pretty impactful floor speech today that's been getting a lot of views online, hundreds of thousands of views in just the past couple of hours on this floor speech that included some pretty strong language, some profanities. I'm going to play it uncensored and unfiltered now in its entirety. And so if you're the pearl-clutching type, you've been warned. If there are any small children watching, well, you might want to listen up because this bill could affect you quite a lot. So take a look.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Where I come from, we make things. Generations woke up before the crack of dawn, went off to the factory, punched a clock, worked their hands to the bone, came home and counted nickels to make sure they could keep a roof over the kids' heads. Keep food on the kids' tables. We've kept our heads down, we've kept our sleeves rolled up, we've kept our shoulder to the wheel, and all we've asked for is a fair shot and for this place to stop screwing us over. But you can't help yourselves. You got us into terrible trade deals that made Wall Street rich and shipped all of our jobs overseas. You bail out the banks while neglecting rural America. You rigged the economy so the corporate PACs that are funding your campaigns make huge profits, jacking up costs on folks who can't afford it. And now this bill will kill good blue-collar manufacturing jobs that we need to rebuild the economy in this country. It closes rural hospitals, it defunds healthcare, all to give trillions of dollars in tax cuts to your cronies. Don't tell me you give a shit about the middle class when all you're doing is shitting on the middle class.
So there you have it, Congressman Josh Riley's take on the formerly One Big Beautiful Bill, now just I don't know, a bill.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill.
I actually sat down. I got a chance to talk to Congressman Riley right after he stepped off the House floor in his first exclusive interview with yours truly. I'm going to show that to you now. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Really appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about what's happening on Capitol Hill right now, as best as you understand it.
Yeah, well, right as of this minute, we're waiting on a vote that's being held open. It sounds like there are a handful of folks on the Republican side who haven't yet gotten a yes on this bill. And so, it's anybody's guess if they'll end up coming along. But we're just shuffling back and forth from my office to the floor for votes, and we'll see how this thing shakes out over the next few hours.
Yeah, as part of the debate on the bill, you gave a speech on the House floor in which you expressed some frustration with the bill. If folks haven't seen it, what was your message to your colleagues? And also, why were you so frustrated by what you're seeing out of this bill?
Yeah, well, I'm angry about what's in the bill. A lot of the folks I talk to across upstate New York are angry about it. And it's not just this bill as a one-off thing. This is the latest in a long history of upstate New Yorkers getting sold out and screwed over by Washington politicians. I said during the short speech that I gave on the floor, this goes back a generation. I mean, I was born in the early 80s. You look at what happened in the 80s and all the greed and excess on Wall Street. And then in the 90s, you've got bad trade deals that are shipping jobs overseas. Wall Street's getting rich. The top 1% have more wealth than the whole middle class combined. And you got towns like the Triple Cities and Oneonta and up where you are in Utica, jobs lost and communities hollowed out. And then you get into the 2000s, you got a bunch of politicians lying to us and getting us into a endless war. You've got the banks getting bailed out while the middle class gets screwed. And it all brings us to today, where the landmark bill that's being put in front of us would add trillions of dollars to the deficit. All of that's going to tax breaks for folks who don't need it. And it's doing it at the expense of rural hospitals and manufacturing jobs and healthcare for kids. And it's just not acceptable.
Yeah. What are your Republican colleagues from New York? You've got Mike Lawler to the south, Elise Stefanik to the north, some more conservatives out west of you. What do they say when you talk to them about this bill?
Yeah, what I've talked to them about is that, and I don't want to speak for any of them, but here's the thing: Washington shouldn't work this way. Politics shouldn't work this way. We shouldn't be in a situation where everything is being done on party line votes. And I say that both parties, Democrats, Republicans, everybody's been screwing up this whole thing for a long time. And back in the real world, where you and I are from, Luke, people don't think about the world through the lens of Democrats versus Republicans. It's just, is this good for upstate New York or not? And this bill is partisan and it's bad for upstate New York. And so what I've said to my colleagues across upstate New York and across the country, frankly, on both sides of the aisle, there's some stuff in here that we can work with, that we can agree on. No tax on tips, sign me up. No tax on overtime, absolutely. No tax on Social Security, let's do it. That's one of my best bills that I've introduced so far. But instead of working together across the aisle and approaching this stuff the way people approach everything in upstate New York, everything is just so party line, and it's all done in service of special interests and lobbyists and corporate PACs. And folks in neighborhoods across upstate New York get left behind. And that's what's so frustrating about it. We could do a lot better than this.
It seems like one of the big problems that the rhetoric between both sides of the aisle has gotten pretty heated. And your rhetoric today on the floor was pretty heated, and it got you some attention. Was that the intention behind using strong language like that? And do you worry about losing a sense of decorum on the House floor when you're speaking in pretty crass and vulgar terms?
I speak in politics the way I talk with my buddies at home. Anytime there's a tough vote in the House, I have a text chain with a bunch of my buddies from high school. Some of them now are huge supporters of President Trump. Some of them are bleeding heart liberals and everything in between. And I talk the way I talk with them is just the way I talk. But look, I'm really frustrated, and I think a lot of folks are really frustrated with what's in this bill. And I think we can express that frustration while also being open to working across the aisle on something that's actually a good piece of legislation.
Yeah. Do you think that this bill will ultimately pass?
It's anybody's guess, man. I've been here long enough to know not to make any predictions. What I will say, it sounds like what's happening right now is that there's a handful of holdouts in the Freedom Caucus who are, they have complaints about the bill. I've only been here for 6 months, but I think I've seen this movie 3 times already, where they kick and they scream and they have their tantrum and they get themselves in front of the TV cameras and then they fold. So we'll see if that happens, or we'll see if this goes in a different direction. My hope is that this thing gets rejected in its current form, and some reasonable folks on both sides of the aisle can come together, decide on the stuff that we can all agree on, get rid of the stuff that's really bad, and actually try to get a good bipartisan deal done that does some good stuff for the working class in this country.
Yeah. You were sworn in.
Oh. Shoot. Okay.
No worries.
It sounds like I have to run, Luke. Sorry.
It's totally fine. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for doing it. I really appreciate it. Let's do it again soon when you're back in the district.
Yeah, I'm glad we're able to do it. Thanks. And sorry I have to run abruptly.
You're totally fine. Take care.
Thanks, Luke. Take care. Bye.
There you have it, Congressman Josh Riley's take on the mega bill making its way through Congress with Trump's agenda. We'll have to see if it passes. We'll have updates here on the channel as well as on my social media feed at Luke Radel. You can follow me everywhere. Really appreciate all of your support. Be sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. And thank you so much for watching.